All right, let's get into it. So, you're ready to buy your first Bitcoin, but you want to do it the right way, and more importantly, you want to do it safely. Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover today. This is your practical guide to not just buying Bitcoin, but to truly owning it securely.
So let's dive right in. We're going to skip the high-level theory and get straight to the practical hands-on steps. I'm going to walk you through the whole process from that very first purchase all the way to securing your digital assets for the long run.
Okay, so this is it. This is where we stop just thinking about it and actually start doing something.
Look, you're here because you already get the why. You understand the big picture behind Bitcoin. So this whole explainer, it's all about the how.
All right, first things first, where do you actually go to get your hands on some Bitcoin?
You've basically got three main options. First up, you've got the big cryptocurrency exchanges. Think places like Coinbase or Kraken. They're the most common. Then there are peer-to-peer platforms, or P2P, where you're buying it directly from another person. And yeah, you might even see a Bitcoin ATM out there in the real world.
Now, while you have those options, let's be real. For most people just getting started, a well-known, trusted exchange is going to be the easiest and most convenient way to go. They're really built for beginners.
The whole process on an exchange is actually pretty straightforward. You open an account, do a quick identity check, they call it KYC, and then you link your bank and deposit some money. From there, you can buy your Bitcoin. You can even start with as little as $10. But I really want you to pay attention to that last step. Number 5, transfer to your wallet. That's the most crucial part of this whole thing, and we're about to see why.
And that right there brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical piece of the puzzle: storing your Bitcoin the right way.
You know, the easiest way to think about this is like a checking account versus a savings account. Hot wallets are like your checking account. They're usually an app on your phone or computer, they're connected to the internet, and they're great for small, everyday transactions. Cold wallets, on the other hand, that's your savings vault. They're completely offline, which makes them the absolute gold standard for security. This is where you put the Bitcoin you can't afford to lose.
And the best kind of cold wallet is what's called a hardware wallet. It's this small, physical device, kind of looks like a USB drive. Its one and only job is to keep your private keys. That's the secret code that proves you own your Bitcoin, totally offline, far away from any online threats or hackers.
Now, when you set up one of these wallets, you're going to be given something that is absolutely vital. It's called your secret recovery phrase.
Okay, I need you to listen very carefully here. This phrase, which is just a list of 12 or 24 simple words, is your only backup. If you lose your hardware wallet or it breaks, these words are the only way you get your Bitcoin back. You have to write them down on paper and store them somewhere incredibly safe and offline. And I can't say this enough, if you lose this phrase, you lose your Bitcoin forever. There's no password reset button, there's no customer service line to call, it's gone. Okay, so that leads us to a set of rules that are just not negotiable. This is your code of conduct for owning Bitcoin.
So here's your security checklist. Rule number 1, never, ever, under any circumstances, share that recovery phrase with anyone. Not online, not in an email, nobody. 2, don't leave a lot of Bitcoin sitting on an exchange, move it to your own wallet. 3, always turn on two-factor authentication for your accounts. And 4, get paranoid. Always double-check the website address you're on to avoid fake phishing sites.
All of this boils down to the most famous saying in Bitcoin: not your keys, not your coins. What does that mean? Simple. If you leave your Bitcoin on an exchange, you're trusting them. They hold the keys. It's only when you move it to a wallet that you control, where you have that secret recovery phrase, that it's truly yours. Now let's talk for a minute about the dangers out there, because you've got to know what to watch out for to keep your stuff safe.
Unfortunately, this space has a lot of bad actors, so you gotta be on the lookout for fake wallet apps in the app stores, phishing emails trying to trick you into clicking bad links, and definitely be wary of any kind of scheme that promises guaranteed high returns. That is always a giant red flag.
And the risk isn't just about individual scammers. The risk of leaving your assets on an exchange is very, very real. We have seen massive, seemingly safe exchanges like MTGOX and much more recently FTX completely collapse overnight. And when they did, users lost everything.
And that right there, that's exactly why self-custody, holding your own keys, isn't just some optional little feature for hobbyists. After everything we've seen happen, it's pretty clear that for anyone who is serious about this, it is an absolute necessity. So as we start to wrap this up, I want you to remember this one key thing. The actual act of buying Bitcoin, That's gotten pretty easy these days. The real skill, the part that needs your focus and your attention, is learning how to protect it properly. So now you have the practical roadmap. You know how to get it. And more importantly, you know how to secure it. So the final question really isn't about the technology. It's about responsibility. Are you ready to be your own bank?